talk the Trump, the Stormy Daniels trial. As it starts today with the jury. Let's talk jury. Sorry, it's my first stream. Let's talk juries. I'm no jury consultant, but I've been on numerous jury pools and been on a couple juries. And I definitely tell you what's going on back there because you see it on CNN and Fox and MSNBC, and they got all these people sitting around talking about the jury. Look, all you're seeing is batting practice, or if you're at a football game, you see your team coming on the field and you're cheering them on before introductions as they're warming up. That's all that's going on here. When you hear the numbers, I mean, think about what's going on. They go, wow, we have 90 people and like 40 are being excused. Well, look, if you've ever been on a jury pool, and if you live in urban areas, you definitely have been. What happens? You get called in, you sit there, you go, oh, I don't want to get called. I'm not getting paid bupkis. I'm getting paid like nothing. You sit there, you wait. They go, hey, they call your number. You go, oh, you got to go in. Who wants to go in? Nobody's happy. You go in. They start asking, they basically ask one question, which is a whole bunch of questions. They go, hey, do you think that you can hear these cases? Do you think there's no conflict? Or do you think you have a conflict? And everybody's hand goes up, almost everyone. You look around, you go, I didn't have my hand up. And there's like, at the end, you maybe 14 of you left after like 100. So when you hear these numbers on TV about how many people were on the jury and how many got stricken or how many got, said they couldn't hear the case, that's normal. Who wants to sit there? You want to sit there and be stuck? It's very unoften people want that to happen. They want to leave. Now let's talk the jury itself. So forget the numbers, okay? So let's talk the jury itself, because that's when it's all happening next week. All I'm hearing on TV, remember, no politics here is, oh, Trump can't win, Trump can lose, he can't win, it's this, it's that. It doesn't matter. Juries really work. Look at the OJ trial. OJ Simpson. OJ died recently, and you know about the case where he was charged with killing his wife and his wife's boyfriend. Now, he basically admitted in a book he wrote later and made it a bit obvious about what he was or who he was when he kicked in a door with a gun and tried to attack people he thought stole stuff from him. Everybody loved OJ. But we went into this case and everybody thought, how can OJ not be guilty? The helicopters followed his Ford, what was it, a Ford Bronco or something, going through the LA streets. You can't not be guilty. He was running away. It didn't look good. The state was all set up. But then you watch and you go, hey, what's going on? And you realize that just because somebody looks guilty or looks like they're going to lose their case doesn't mean it's going to happen. Because what happened in the OJ case? There was no question he was guilty, right? But you got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a person is guilty. That's what the state's job is. You have 12 people on the jury, and all it takes is one to hang the jury, and that would be a win for Trump. That's normally a win, at least short term, for any defendant. So it's a very tough mark to hit, and the state's got to be good, and the jury is going to sit there and listen. But what happened with OJ? Everybody's going, it was nullification. Nullification means the jury ignores the facts or the law and just does what they think is right. I don't think that's what happened here. I would have voted for not guilty for OJ, because you sit there and you watch the facts, and what happened here? The state has all the money in the world, but the two state's attorneys or district attorneys were mediocre. And they put OJ on the stand. They say, put this glove on, and the glove didn't fit. And when the glove didn't fit, and back then you didn't have DNA, it was over. OJ was like smiling. And they also put on the stand a cop who didn't tell the whole truth. And then you had a Judge Ito, who did a horrible job. Meanwhile, OJ had incredible lawyers. So it goes before the jury, and OJ is not guilty. And people are going, wow, how could that happen? But it happened because OJ's defense put in some really good issues, the glove, and the cop who didn't tell the whole truth, and said, isn't that enough to make you think OJ may not be guilty? And that's all it took. And if I was on, as I said, if I was on that jury, I would have said not guilty. Now sit back and watch what's happening here. It's the same thing. Forget what all the commentators tell you. They're the fans. They're just cheering things on from the stands. People sit on a jury, especially if you've been on one. People sit on a jury, they listen, they want to make it work, and they want to be real about it and do the right thing. And I believe in it. So, hey, I think the state's got a really tough case against Trump, but they seem to have a lot of evidence, and Trump's got a good lawyer. So we'll see what happens, but don't down the jury. Juries are the best defense we have against the state in this country. Let's see what happens here. As I said, no politics. But tomorrow, foreign policy, because that's where the action is, and that's where our real problems are in this country today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then.